All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here on Wednesday, hump day. Always fun to check out watches from Spinnaker, and I just got a brand new one here in the mail today. It actually showed up. Real quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Orient Chrono. It's funny, I've had this on a number of different bands and even used it on my Mako bracelet, but I always keep coming back to this rubber strap. I'm going to eventually compare this to the Seiko SKX that I just recently picked up. Going to be kind of an interesting comparison, but let's go ahead and check out what's in the box from Spinnaker. Now I've got my blade here, the big real steel blade that came out to the channel from one of my great viewers out there. Let's go ahead and tear this thing open and see what's in the box. Now, of course, I kind of have a good idea. I'm going to close the knife here, set it aside so I don't have an open blade sit next to me. I know what's inside the box. I'm really excited about this. This watch, the signups started on the 23rd over at the Spinnaker website. I will leave a link down below where you can get on over to the website and check these out. Now, no surprise in the packaging from Spinnaker, very standard packaging we're used to seeing, simple cardboard box. You know, I'd rather, I've said many, many times, I'd rather have a better watch than a better box, and that's just the way it is. So let's go ahead and open the packaging here. Now, it's not the first time I've had the Spinnaker Dumas on the channel. I've actually had the black version of this, but they've come out with a couple of different, or a few new colorways. They've got the black, they've got a blue, they've got the yellow, obviously now, and then they have a white one. So go ahead and pull it off the pillow here and take a look-see. Now, these are all, I do believe, coming on these Milanese bracelet. This is a big, thick bracelet. As a matter of fact, the other one was so thick, it was kind of hard for me to get it on, but I think they've done some improvements to the bracelet. But really, really good-looking watch here. I'm going to pause it for just a second so I can pull the plastic off this watch, and we'll take a closer look. All right, so I got all the plastic off. That wasn't too painful. So if you guys aren't familiar, these Dumas watches are named after Frederic Dumas, who was actually one of the guys that helped create the diving regulator. Him and an engineer designed the regulator together and put the thing, you know, brought out the diving regulator, which is super important. Also, he dove with Jacques Cousteau and helped to bring, you know, the underwater world to just us standard desk divers out there. So, guys, a really cool watch. Now, they advertise on the site at 44 millimeters from side to side. Because of these squared off areas in the case, I'm actually measuring closer to 45 millimeters on the case dimension side to side, not including the crown or the crown guards. Comes in at 48.5 is what I measured from hidden lug to hidden lug, so that makes it a really good size to wear. Comes in at a chunky 16 millimeters of thickness. You do have a sapphire crystal on this watch. It appears to be a flat sapphire crystal, and then the curved case back. Also, the display case back here on the watch, as you can see. We'll kind of show you a little bit more of that. Taking a closer look at the dial, excuse me, guys, the dial on this watch, you guys can see that it has applied indices. These are full of Swiss Superluminova, which is great. You have plongeur style hands on this watch. A spinning second hand there with the black, and then you've got that nice meatball pip out there at the end. This watch is running a 24 joule movement. They say Japanese movement, most likely the Seiko NH35, which also includes that date wheel over there at the 3 o'clock position. 300 meters of water resistance on this watch, or 1,000 feet, as you guys can see there, letting you know it's an automatic watch. Spinnaker up there at the top at 12 o'clock. So just a really clean diving, you know, layout. I wanted the yellow one, guys. They gave me the choice. I chose the yellow one instead of the white dial. Yellow just screams diver watch. I don't know. There's just something about it. I love the fact that they added the little red out here outside the 5-minute marks and the round pips, and then you've got the squared off pips at the 15-minute mark. Really, really clean design that kind of ties it in with the minute hand over there. Clean turning bezel on this watch, 120 click. Everything on it lines up really, really nicely. The bezel is actually loomed. We'll get a loom shot towards the end. It has a hardened mineral crystal over the top of the outside of the bezel. So it's not sapphire on the bezel. You do have a sapphire main crystal, but the bezel itself is actually glass on top. It's a mineral, like I said, a hardened mineral crystal, and then it's loomed underneath. Really nice loom. Taking a look at the case on the watch, you have a lot of very industrial style brushing. The beveled edges on the corner of the watch are polished out nicely, along with the tops of the crown guards, and that kind of follows around down to the edge of the watch. Really nicely done. Brushed on top, as you would expect in this kind of style watch. Very thick and very well-made Milanese bracelet on this watch. Now, for the smaller wrist, because of the curvature and stuff, and it's not super flexible, people may have a little bit of a problem if you have a smaller wrist, but honestly, if you have a smaller wrist, you might not be looking at a 45 millimeter dive watch. But with the 48 lug to lug, it actually fits the wrist really well. The clasp assembly on here, now I've left the plastic on here, so let's see. I should have taken care of that off camera. We'll go ahead and pull that off, and let's see if I can get the clasp undone. You know what? I'm going to pause the camera here for just a second and get that figured out. All right, so I got the clasp open. There was a little piece of plastic there that was holding it from opening. So taking a look at the case back and the back of the strap. Again, a nice thick Milanese. You know, the end links here, they're usually just bent end links, but I think these are generally solid on this one, which is kind of nice. You can see the NH35 movement in there. It kind of lets you know that. As a matter of fact, let's zoom in and see what we read on there. It just says Japan movement, 24 joules. But yeah, most likely an NH35. The reference number on this one is the SP5081. Lets you know it's an automatic movement, all stainless steel, and the water resistance down there. Looking at the buckle and clasp assembly, all stainless steel, done very nice in these industrial style bars. And you can see the quality in this Milanese bracelet. Really, really nicely done bracelet. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it. We'll get this watch on my 7-inch wrist, and then of course we will go out with that loom shot. All right, guys, so there is the watch on my 7-inch wrist. I probably need to do some more adjusting on this Milanese bracelet, but this one actually feels better than the last one I had. It was a little bit stiffer. This one fits my wrist a little bit better. I think I've got it just a little bit too tight there, but I mean, this is like bulletproof. This literally feels like a bulletproof watch bracelet. Very nicely done. The Dumas, something about just the aesthetics of the watch, obviously harkening back to those 1970s divers watches, has the hidden lug, which is kind of interesting, very similar to the Timex Q we looked at last night, which again is referring back to the 1970s as far as watches go. So very cool. Let's dim the lights and let go out with that loom shot here on the OFD channel. All right, now guys, if I remember correctly with the last one I had here on the channel, the loom on these watches is really pretty doggone impressive. I've said it before that Spinnaker has really stepped up their loom game on their watches recently, and this one, of course, being no exception. Swiss Super Luminova is being used on here. Again, you have the loom underneath the hardened mineral bezel crystal, which is a really neat addition, and those plots, those applied indices just really, really pop on this watch. The plongeur style hands make reading, in the dark just super simple and defined on this watch. So great job, the Dumas diver from Spinnaker. These are going to be going for $400. I'm going to leave a link down below where you guys can get over to the website and check these watches out. Whole lot of watch for the money here, guys, and just to kind of get it done dive watch. So, all right, guys, if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.